title of the course, and this will be transacted over 4 sessions. 4 days we'll be meeting for a duration of 90 into 2 per day. So today is the first, so 1/4, a quarter of the course will be transacted today. Okay, now let me come to the course. You know that this course is part of a center. It is being, this is the title, and for me it is very important to connect the course to the program. It is very important for me to connect the course to the program, because this is the course which you know, I've just told you about, is the title, and the program which brings me here to Japan and the beautiful city of Kyoto is actually this: Reconstruction of the Intimate and Public Spheres in 21st Century Asia. So I think it is very, very important that you understand that why I'm here with a course whose title is Childhood, Courtship, Conjugality, Family. What am I doing in a center which is going to be actually talking about reconstruction of the intimate and the public spheres? The first very obvious link is that these two, the program and the course, in a way connect a general sociology with a particular sociology. The general sociology is about is to be understood in terms of the general concepts, intimate sphere and the public sphere, which have which are very well worked out in general sociology. So this is a general sociology, and I will be connecting to this general sociology a particular sociology from India. Yes, India itself, and the commonality between. Okay, I want to talk about the commonality. One question which I always ask myself is that what is the purpose of knowledge? Why I'm doing what I'm doing? Why I'm teaching? Why should we study this? Why should we study this? There has to be some goal of knowledge. Of course, knowledge for knowledge's sake is also something which people talk about, which philosophers talk about. But what is the larger aim of this course? According to me, I'm sure you can have your own view on it. We should be democratic in that sense, but this is my view on it. I think the purpose for me of this course and knowledge relating to these two issues is that one, it is going to help me see India not as something which is, of course, India has a specific culture, as every culture is a specific culture. Japan is a specific culture, America is a specific, every culture is specific. But we can't stop at understanding of the world in terms of only specifics. There is an interrelationship. And in terms of culture, one kind of thinking is that we are actually part of an entity called Asia. So Asia comprises India, it comprises Japan, it comprises China, so forth and so on. And all these entities ultimately compose what we understand as Asia. So Asia is in a sense in the sociological imagination a region. Of course, you can, where do you find the region? You can find it on the map. You must be very good at Google search. You can find it there. But our concern as anthropologists and sociologists is that Asia as a region shows commonalities. So this course is going to be one little effort in bringing to you the view from India in the larger understanding of Asia. That is what is the purpose of the course. And secondly, and most importantly, I think, the purpose of knowledge is to understand that people are different. I think if this is this one thing we understand, that people are different, cultures are different, there will not be any problem in the world. Because most of the problems which are reported in the world are about terrorism or ethnicity, or about, what are they all about? I think it is the complete intolerance of different ways of being. That your religion and my religion, not just your religion and my religion, or your ethnicity and my ethnicity, but my ethnicity versus your ethnicity. My religion versus your religion. My class versus your class. So for me, the goal of knowledge, the goal of my profession, I treat it as a vocation, is to communicate this one point, that in the world, people are different, cultures are different, and we have to respect them. That is the most, so I also tell my students that I don't really, it's not going to hurt me if you don't, it's not going to sadden me if you do not take up sociology once you leave the course or once you graduate out of college. I'm not going to be, it's not going to be hurt by that. Because sociology is about understanding cultures differently, or the fact that cultures are different. And I'll be very happy if what you have learned in the class, you just practice in your life. Which means that I don't want you to be writing books necessarily. Welcome to do it. It'll be great if some of you come back to teaching, some of you come back to research. That's beautiful. I mean, that is, then I would have thought I have reproduced something. There are ways of reproduction. You don't just reproduce babies biologically, but then you reproduce a whole ethos. You reproduce a whole disciplinary imagination. But I'll be happy if you do that. But I will also be extremely happy if anything we learn in the classroom, especially about respecting differences, is practiced in daily life. So that when I see somebody who is not like me, or who is seeming very different in terms of their practices of religion, of walking, of talking, of looking, of appearance, of race, aren't we hearing all this every day? Race is one big thing. I was watching the Indian news, race, Australia, and students from India being thrashed in Australia, Indians are retaliating. I mean, this is the whole problem, and you look at the Gulf, you look at Pakistan, Afghanistan, look at the States, I mean, all over. So, well, I very consciously have dwelt upon this whole theme of difference. This is my theme song. But coming back to the course, so this is the way we are going to be connecting. So I've told you how India feeds into this whole understanding of the intimate and the public sphere. The larger view from Asia, and India will be one component. So what completes Asia would be India, Japan, China, Korea, Taiwan, and all of, once we have that whole picture, we have the whole of Asia, which becomes a sum of its parts. So I will give you a view from one part, which is India. So this is the way I connect the course and the program. The method of connecting, I've called concepts as connectors. If you look at both the course and the program, there are very, very important concepts there. You know, we use these terms like the intimate, like the public, in a kind of lay discourse, conversations. These are not new words for us. But when we use it in the course, in the program, the intimate sphere is a concept. And you know the difference between a commonsensical understanding of society and a sociological understanding of society. Concepts is that tool, that optic, through which a particular type of reality or particular features of reality are understood. So the intimate sphere is, the intimate is also one such concept. And it is a concept which has to be understood in relation to the public. They are related, like night makes sense in relation to morning, or darkness makes sense in relation to light. Right? Similarly, intimate makes sense in relation to the public. In fact, the relatedness of the two concepts explains their use, their employment in sociology. So you could go to the library and look up the dictionary maybe, and that is the first thing maybe one could do. You could, if you're curious and keen, look up what is the intimate sphere? What is the public sphere? The intimate sphere, I'm going to tell you in terms of its functional understanding, a functional knowledge of it. Intimate sphere is basically about, pertains to the family. The intimacy, the family. So in this context, what I want to say is that the connection between the course and the program can be understood in terms of the connector concepts. So the connector concepts are intimate and public, which we shall be exploring. Our version, or the way we have understood the intimate, is the family and the constituents of the family. I'll give you a better view of the slides. I think I have it. Is it, just a minute, is it better? Okay. So during, in course of my course and the lectures that follow, my understanding of intimate, public, I will not be referring to directly, but you'll be amazed at how the public connects to the intimate. And that we'll see during the course of our interaction. You see, concepts are heuristic devices, they're analytical devices through which we as if partition reality. But reality cannot actually be partitioned, no matter what you do. We categorize partitioned reality in order to make sense of it. So though we have drawn these categories of the intimate, by which we mean family, by which we mean intimacy, by which we mean smaller kinds, of socialities, from the public, which is the state, which is the market, these are our categories. And we have devised them to basically understand, how do we go about understanding these. But remember that These are only analytical categories. Take them away and the reality hits you like it's connected, it's completely connected. So what I've tried, I've tried to recast, remold the intimate. The point I was making is that this is not my direct concern in terms of what I do, but it will connect. And when it connects, I'll tell you. And this happened during the course of my fieldwork. When I was looking at one thing, I was studying food, which is a very intimate kind of cultural practice, eating. And to my surprise, I was taken into the public. So ultimately, my research ended in researching McDonald's in India or the fast food restaurants. I didn't intend starting there, mind you. So this is the kind of complexity and this is the kind of dynamic between the intimate and the public. But what I will do is, I have confined myself, the temptation and the challenge of doing study, or the challenge of doing research is to actually confine. So, I'm understanding the intimate. I'm repeating this because this is, very basic to our course. In terms of childhood, in terms of courtship, conjugality, family. In globalizing, I'm sure there are some questions or clarifications. Okay, let me ask you something which is not about the course directly, but how many of you could tell me something you've heard about, or what do you know about India? What have you heard about India? Like for me, I'll tell you how, in order to explain. Japan always meant beauty, and it came from these Japan Airlines calendars. Somebody I knew, our family knew, worked in the Japan Airways, the Japan Airlines, and every year they would give us a calendar with beautiful photographs. So for me, Japan has always meant beauty. So where did I hear of Japan? My imagination of Japan began as a child through those calendars. And then, as I grew up, one asked this question, how come all the electronic products, where are they made? So Hitachi, where did it come from? Then the most popular Maruti Suzuki, where did it come from? So Japan has entered my imagination as an Indian through these cultural products. That time there is no global star television, there is no, so we don't have no global news. Otherwise today it's very easy to know about another place because of the internet, because of all the Facebooks and Googles and everything. But when I was growing up, it was not like that. So I came to Japan through these cultural products. The car, the electronic gadgets, the calendars, some books, very, very beautiful, mythology, good, some translations. So I'm asking you this question, and I would be very happy if you can speak and respond to my question. Have you heard about India? And what have you heard about India?